your daughter was here earlier and she said you had interesting friends that you travel with and you came as a group of women to the forum. What it is you were trying to learn from the experience?
I believe it's very important this opportunity to understand the world, understand the what about another women are worried. I am living in Argentina in a small town 3 hours from Buenos Aires. I have 4 children and I work a lot, and I am very worried what about my children education, because I believe I was working a lot when they were younger, so I worry to help them now that they are adolescents. So I am I am very interested with this, and this opportunity that you are giving to me is too much important, because I believe that we must be very good in innovation, in creativity, but we must communicate very well everything. So thank you for this opportunity to you. And the last question is to be very good in execution, because sometimes you have good ideas and you must communicate very well, and then you have to execute very well. Thank you. Yes. And what do you think?
Interesting things to say. We'll tackle on that right now.
I believe it's very important this opportunity to understand the world,
You are
understand
relaxed and the way you hold the mic is good.
what about
But
another
listen to your
women
answers.
are worried.
Yes.
I am living in Argentina in a small town 3 hours from Buenos Aires. I have 4 children and I work a lot, and I am very worried what about my children education, because I believe I was working a lot when they were
That's
younger.
no problem.
So
Yes, your
I'm
body language
worried
is not
to
a
help
problem
them
at all.
now that they are adolescents.
You don't have a problem speaking in public. I can tell you.
I am
this
very
story.
interested
Yes?
with this.
No, I think you're good
and
at it.
this opportunity that you are giving to me is too much important, because I believe that
But I'll tell you what the
we
problem
must
is.
be very good in.
There's two major problems here. Your answer is way too long. By the
Okay.
after 30, 40 seconds, we are not listening to you anymore. I'm sorry, but no. Make shorter sentences and answer the question. I asked you a very specific question. Why did you come here with these 6 women at the forum? What did you learn from it? And you're telling me about your whole life. You're going there and then there, there. Your mind is wandering. You're trying to make it understandable, and you're trying to get your message through, but you're not doing it. Because you're telling me your life story when I ask you a very specific question. You're telling me about your kids, you're telling me about women, you're telling me about your job, you're telling me about this kind of event. You're all over the place, and it's counter-efficient. It's
Yes.
counterproductive. You know what I mean?
Yes, excellent.
Let's focus on that. Let's listen to your answer again, because I think it's very
I
informative.
know, but I some years ago when I did a training program, I was teach that sometimes it's important to talk about you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable to talk about your life, talk about your life.
Yes, but if you're a guest on TV and they're gonna ask you a question, you can't do that.
Okay.
You have to answer the question.
Okay.
My question was large enough that you could fall back on your feet and go back to this, but in general, answer the specific question.
Excellent.
We could try, if we had more time, I swear I would try and ask you specific questions to see how you tackle that and how you can
Yes.
play around with it and see if you always fall back into this old trap or if you can do it differently. But we don't have this luxury today, but never mind. Let's just listen to your answer and focus on your answer. No
Okay.
problem about the body language, it's fine. I don't think you have a problem standing or moving your hands. It's very delicate, the movement of your hands, so that's no problem.
Okay, so answer the questions.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Listen to what you're going to tell me.
I believe it's very important, this opportunity to understand the world, understand the what about another women are worried.
Okay.
I am living in Argentina,
That's
in a
good
small
answer.
town 3
Stop.
hours from
Now we
Buenos
know
Aires.
you live in
I
Argentina.
have 4 children,
You have
and
4
I
children.
work a lot.
You work,
And I
you
am
work so
very
much, but
worried
you couldn't care for
what
them.
about my children education, because
I didn't ask you, are
believe
you a
I
mom
was
and
working
how
a lot
do you
when
reconcile being a
they
mom
were
and a
younger.
professional? I asked you
So
why are you here.
I'm worried to help them now that they are adolescents.
You have
So
7 messages in one answer.
I am very interested with this, and this opportunity that you are giving to me is too much important, because I believe
Why?
that we must be very good in innovation, in creativity. But
Innovation,
we
creativity,
must
how does that
communicate
relate to your
very
children?
well, everything. So thank you for this opportunity to you.
You're thanking me, that's
And
unnecessary, but that's okay.
the last question is to be very good in execution, because sometimes you have good ideas and you must communicate very well,
Okay.
and then you have to execute
That's good.
very
But
well.
you know what? You could have taken the beginning of your answer and forget about everything you said in between and link it to that last part. That's the core of your answer. But it took almost 2.5 minutes to get to this. It took too long before you actually gave a straight, clear answer to the question. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's exactly the opposite that I learned. That another time when I was training, they say if a newspaper talk to you and you don't know exactly what you say, prepare your speech. It's, no, but you
Yeah,
are
but
correct.
if you're on TV and you have 2 minutes to express yourself, they're not going to let you do that.
Yes.
The moment you finish that sentence, I'm going to say, okay, thank you, goodbye.
Okay.
Because why? I don't have enough time. They're talking to my ear and they're saying,
Excellent.
we have to move over to the next topic.
Excellent. Yes.
And what is it that you really wanted to convey? Talk about your children or talk about your career? You know
Excellent.
what I mean?
Yes.
Keep it in mind. I'm sure if we did it differently and I asked you specific questions, now you would do it differently. Obviously, we don't have time. But,
Okay.
But I would have been intrigued to see how different it would be.
Okay.
It would have been. And again, keep in mind you're expressing yourself in English, which is not your native language. If we were to do it in Spanish, it would be way different.
What about English and Spanish? What do you say?
The way you would formulate your answers in Spanish would be different than the way you formulate your
Okay.
sentences and you organize your
Yes.
thoughts in English, and that's the case for everybody. And that's what I asked of your daughter earlier. I said I could tell she was not comfortable formulating everything in English. And I said, you know what, let's stop here. Do the same in Spanish. And she was a different person.
Yes.
Even her body language was different.
Yes, it's,
Her eyes were different.
we must practice more English. Sometimes,
No, but it's
maybe.
it's
True.
because she said she wanted to be an actress, or maybe she wanted to be a journalist, but she didn't know. But she wanted to know how good she would come across.
Do you believe
So I
she's
said-
good to
Yeah,
express?
I think she's fine. She's comfortable with herself. But that being said, because she said she wanted to be an actress, I told her, you want to be an actress in your country then, so do it in Spanish, because they're going to judge you on your Spanish and not your English skills to start with. So it's natural to her to do it in her own language.
Yes, because she's studying in the future locution.
Yes.
And do you believe she will be good for this?
In Spanish, yes. In English, she needs a little more training, but she will start in Spanish, right?
Yes.
I was convinced by her Spanish skill.
Yes,
No problem.
no problem
She
with the
could
skills.
carry a message very clearly in Spanish.
Yes?
Yeah, I have no
Okay.
doubt about it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.